everybody, welcome to episode 5 of The Polican Chef. I'm Ken, that's Christopher, and Bella's on the camera. I know I promised seafood gumbo for today's episode, but I'm really in the mood for pierogies. And we have a special guest, a third generation Jamrock. Let me turn this around. Welcome Bubba, AKA my dad.
Congratulations on your new episode. I like the last ones, and some of my friends thought they were great.
Good, I'm glad. So today we're gonna make your basic potato and cheese pierogies. As we get closer to the holidays, we're gonna make what's called kucha, which is a Polish Mexican bread, and kruszczyki, which is a painstakingly dessert, but it's painstaking to make because it has to be rolled super thin, and if it doesn't get rolled super thin, this guy complains and won't eat it. So, Bubba, why don't you share with us what eating these kinds of foods mean to you, what it reminds you of?
Well, several things. As a kid growing up, watching my grandmother and my mother make pierogies by the dozens and dozens, and they ground their own pork, veal, and beef, stuffed their own big intestines to make Polish sausage, made their own sauerkraut, scratch, big vats, and that was horrible. But the most fun, I know you didn't like it, was grinding horseradish, because it makes you cry and your nose run, but adding beets to it when it's all ground up, I always loved that. It was good with sandwiches or just as a side, but it definitely tangy, more than tangy. It tickles your nose quite a bit. And then, of course, your mother and I, when we made kruszczyki, I did the rolling. I had a big floured board on my table and rolled till I got the right thickness, or thinness, I should say. And then your mom did the frying. She had 2 big pots with oil going on the stove. She had the island lined up with all sort of several layers of towel paper, and I would bring a big platter full of the rolled kruszczyki dough, and she'd fry them. When they were done, put them on the paper towels, patted them a little bit, sprinkled, and then we filled up the box we had with them. Sometimes we made double order, and that took a lot of rolling. But like you said, if you don't get them too thin, then you have to make the thicker kind. And my grandmother used to use them. They make the ribbon. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yes.
Where you punch a hole and then you just make a ribbon out of it. And those are generally thicker, and they taste okay. But my mother started the thin ones years and years ago, and that works out better. It's not quite as much work because you don't have to deal with the dough, making a ribbon out of it. And then the ribbon thicker, so it takes longer to fry. And we tried some at one time, and it seemed like our oil went bad faster, so we quit doing it. But it's all well worth the effort, and we were able to share a lot of the kruszczyki with friends, and they all liked it. So it's always fun to set aside the time to do it, and we did it together. I've not tried to do it by myself, because once you start rolling the dough, you have to get it in the frying pan quickly, and it's really better a 2-person operation doing it the way we did.
So when we go to make those, probably a week or 2 before Christmas, we'll have you back on, and you can tell the story where your mom made a whole batch, and you and your brother, my late Uncle Johnny, ate the whole box while grandma and grandpa were out. And
yeah, we did that one night. We had when we were kids, we usually had a box with a double case of beer around, and we would line that with aluminum foil. We had double order, a double batch actually, and my cousin Ronnie was over, so Johnny, Ronnie, myself, we did manage to knock off a good part of that box, and to say that my mother was more than angry, we had to help the next day, and we did do a lot of work, refrying, making them all over again. But it was worth it, because the work is worth the effort, because they're so good to eat.
Yeah, they are.
They are really good, but they do take 6 hours probably for a batch. Christopher gets a kick out of it because one of the ingredients is whiskey, and even though the alcohol cooks off, he does. So let's go back to the pierogies. This is really simple, very simple recipe. To me, the key is the sour cream. It makes the dough fluffy and light. So we'll start with the dry ingredients. 2 cups of flour.
Struggling there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. I should have put the hook up. Half a teaspoon of salt. And that's all the dry ingredients. So we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of lukewarm water, an egg, and a 1/2 cup of sour cream. And that's it. Very simple dough. And we're gonna turn on slowly. Dip that in there and let it come up slowly so there's no mess throughout the kitchen.
What are you using? I can hear it. Is that a mixer?
KitchenAid.
Oh, okay. Can you change the screen so I can see what you're doing as well? I'm looking at your ceiling.